What's up, everybody? That thing happening in. Whoop. Oh. That thing happening in my throat. So I got a cough drop in there, so you're gonna hear some stuff going wrong with my teeth. So just kind of ignore that. Welcome everybody to Sunday night's Q&A. We kind of missed the Q&A after the last live because I talked too much about the Mississippi bubble. Hopefully you guys learned something about the Mississippi bubble, and if you didn't, hopefully you could go back and rewatch the last live stream. The title of it was The Start of Nasera, and the content of it was primarily on the early 1700s happenings of the French financial issue. So really, really good live to watch, very educational, some fun too. I believe a lot of people said I was funny. I didn't say that. It's not what I said. I'm just saying that a lot of people said it. And these people that said it, they don't even know each other. They don't, like, not in real life. So all of these independent people said that I was funny without even, like, conspiring to do it. It just happened. So I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it. I'm saying what they said. It's a big difference. You know? I don't know if you guys have known my cowardly lion. He's right there. He sits right next to the captain sign. I think it's fitting. So he made an appearance tonight. Round of applause for Mr. Cowardly Lion, Nick Albir. Nick's been silent lately, huh? That's good. Lots of stuff is starting to come out of Mr. Albir. I don't know if you guys have seen Alessandro and Total Disclosure's recent research earlier this morning, but they had what akins to a whistleblower come to Alessandro and Alessandro's platform, Total Disclosure, and tell all sorts of behind-the-scenes, little-known information about Nick Albir. And the major accusation is that Nick Albir had told this person that he was actually hired for January 6th, 2021. That would make Nick Albir a paid operative. That would also make sense why Nick Albir got such little jail time from his conviction on January 6th. It would also make a lot of sense as to why Nick Albir went after me so hard with untrue bullshit falsities about me. And pretty interesting. So anyway, speaking of the Cowardly Lion, there he is. Round of applause. All right, let's move on. So we're going to do a straight Q&A tonight. I'm going to try to limit the topics of the Q&A. So I'm going to give you a list of topics that I will answer from. I don't want this to be all over the map like an AMA and ask me anything. I'm going to give you a whole bunch of topics on that I'm going to take questions on. And of course, I control which questions that I read. So if I see a good question, maybe I'll answer it anyway. But yeah, we're going to do that. First, tell me where you're from. Conway, Arkansas. Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Nick Albir is slimy. Oh, well, I just read that one right there. Tullahoma, Tennessee. It's pretty cool. Fluster, what was that one? Oh, Plumsteadville, Pennsylvania. Wow, that's way out west. It's got to be because I don't know that name. Hollywood, Maryland. Wheat Ridge, Colorado. Lil Sassy, Goldsboro, North Carolina. Rogers, Ohio. Findlay, Ohio. Kingwood, Texas, LFG. Scottville, Michigan. Topeka, Kansas. Taunton, Massachusetts. Klamath Falls, Oregon. There's a Klamath Beach that we go to in Northern California, probably pretty close. Commie, Colorado. Scottsdale, Arizona. Overlook, Kansas. Bellingham, Washington. Oostende, Belgium. Cool. Way across the pond, huh? Guntown, Pennsylvania. Pataskala, Ohio. New Orleans. Merritt Island, Detroit, Michigan. Las Vegas. Queen Creek, Arizona. Pax River, Maryland. Marshall, Minnesota. Baja, California. Mechanicsville, Iowa. Merritt Island, Eureka, California. I have a home near there. And let's get one more good one. Oh, this guy wrote it like 100 times, so I'm going to have to say it. Swanton, Ohio. Swanton, Ohio. Thank you for everybody. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. As most of you know, my name is Phil Godlewski. A lot of people say that I'm very funny. A lot of people say I'm very handsome. A lot of people call me a goat. I don't know why. A goat is an animal with fur and isn't very articulate. I'm none of those things. So, well, I guess I'm an animal. But I don't think they actually mean the animal version of the goat. I think they mean like, you know, right? Anyway, that wasn't part of me being funny, nor did I think that was funny at all. So if we could just pretend that that didn't happen, that'd be great. Anyway, tonight we're going to do a straight Q&A. I'm going to try to limit it on the topics that we talked about. Before we do that, I want to make a couple comments that to correct what I've been seeing on my Telegram chat rooms. As you guys all know, I relaunched my X Patches system. And before I go any further on that, X Patches is LifeWave. We call it X Patches because I wanted to brand it to myself. So when you hear X Patches, what you're actually hearing is Phil's LifeWave downline. Okay. I just didn't want to call it Phil's LifeWave downline. So we came up with a word. It's X Patches. There's no such thing as an X Patch. There's an X39, an X49. Company's name is LifeWave. Regardless, similar to how I call Phil Silver PSI, which enrolls you in the 7K, X Patches enrolls you into LifeWave. Okay? So when you're signing up for one, you're not missing out on the other. A lot of people think that that's the case because the website is xpatches.philgodlewski.live. You think that you're not going into LifeWave. You are. It's just what our platform is called. Okay? That's number one. Number two, many of you know that on Friday night, I relaunched enrollment into my X Patches system, which enrolls you for LifeWave. I've been making comments over the last couple of days. Hey, if you're interested in this, and this is something you want to do for all the reasons we talked about in the last couple lives, now's the time to do it. I've been saying that you want to get in on the ground floor, right? This is the only sponsor for tonight, so just hold your horses. The ground floor means this to me. Let me tell you what I think it means when I say it. I am about to expend a lot of money into advertising for MLMs. I purchased a couple domain names regarding masterclass MLMs. I'm going to be doing a whole thing about how to teach people how to get involved in an MLM and be prepared for the next big thing, the next employment phase for citizens. In addition to that, I'm going to be spending a lot of money on advertising and branding my platform. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get all of you enrolled into this system and into my downline before the flood of the public comes. Because when I start doing paid advertising, SEO, social media marketing outside of Telegram, paid social media marketing, geofencing, billboard campaigns if I choose to do them, and whatever else I choose to do, we're going to have a lot of leads coming in from the general public who don't watch me on my show. They're not followers of me, but they see my advertising and they're going to sign up anyway. I'm going to build this thing enormously big. The reason why I want you to sign up on the ground level is in a downline structure for an MLM, you'll be here. I'll be up here, of course. You'll be here, but all of those rest of the leads that I plan on marketing to, they're going to be below you. And that means potential commission for you. That's what I mean, get in on the ground floor. By getting in on the ground floor, you are circumventing the massive amount of hundreds of thousands of people that are going to come after you. That they will be used to help build your downline. So you're not the low man on the totem pole. That's a common thing with an MLM. Oh, only the people at the top make the money. Well, I'm giving you an opportunity to be at the top, not at the tippy top. That's my domain. I live at the tippy top. Don't go near the tippy top. Can never get there even if you wanted to. But you just be just below that a little bit. And then let my marketing and my ability to market, which by the way, that's what I've done for 17 years in real estate. I marketed and branded and I built an empire doing it. So when I start to do that and the flood comes in, you're going to be properly positioned. Okay. xpatches.philgodlewski.live. In fact, let me put that in the description of the video real quick, because I just realized I didn't. Okay. The link should now be below the video, in the description of the video. Shit. I didn't hyperlink it. Hold on. Right after this, we're going to hop right into the Q&A. There we go. Hyperlinks in the description of the video down below on Rumble. It's not going to be on any others yet, but I'll get to that after the live tonight. So now's your chance. We got appointments set up for this week. If you don't see any available appointments on your calendar when you go to sign up, wait until tomorrow, because then the following day of the next week opens up. And my main advertising probably isn't going to start until June anyway, so you got a little bit of time here. But yeah, get signed up for this. I really am hoping for as many of my following to sign up as possible. And the more that does sign up, the more people I can help. All I got to do is trust me, believe me, and let me go to work for you. Okay? So we're going to do a Q&A tonight. I'm going to limit the content of the Q&A to things that we spoke about in my live streams just this past week. I don't want to get off into some big tangent of information and have everybody's minds go all over the place. So let's try to keep it on things that we spoke about recently in this last week, which was the new employment structure, NESARA, GESARA, Mississippi bubble. I think those are the lives that I did, right? So if there's anything that roundaboutly relates to those things, I'll answer those questions as well. So there's no, I mean, the rules are kind of laxed here a little bit. I mean, I am going to use discretion in which questions I read, of course, like I always do. So I'll read some that are outside of that scope. You do not see the link. You'll have to reload the Rumble screen, because I made an update, so now you have to reload in order for it to show up. Okay. By the way, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. I just got back from dinner with my mom. It was great. Love spending time with my mom, especially on Mother's Day and holidays like this. She's a great mom. I didn't talk to her for a couple of years because of circumstances outside of my control, but we have made up, and I encourage you all to do the same thing for your moms, because no matter what you do, you'll only ever have one mother. And if she's still alive, there's no reason why you should keep her out of your life, in my opinion. It took me a while to realize that, and but I think me and my mom are in a better position now than we ever have been. I love you, Mom. Thank you for putting me here, and thank you for everything you do for me and my boys. So, all right, let's get into the Q&A. Are 7K members still not allowed on the XPatches system? No, 7K members are allowed on my X-Patches system. When I first launched this 9 months ago, they were not. And that's why I haven't talked about it for many months, because all my 7K people were getting pissed. So I just kind of put LifeWave and the X-Patches system away. And I said, oh, I'm just not going to promote it then until I get what I want. And then I had all restrictions lifted on the dual membership. So you could be in 7K and you could be in LifeWave simultaneously. So any 7K member that didn't apply because of that can now apply. The link is down below in the description. Pascal Nahadi, is he USSF? Is his info valid? No idea what you're talking about. No idea who that is. And there's a lot of questions about this. People asking about a credible source. People asking about USSF. I have no idea who Pascal and this, what a Naga, not going to work here anymore. I don't know who that is. Another Office Space reference, in case you guys didn't know. LifeWave question, if we were already signed up under you in LifeWave, are we already in the binary? Yes, if you're already signed up and you signed up originally, you're in good shape. You just got a super head start for in front of the others. But yeah, you're good. Wow, all these Pascal questions. I have no idea what you're talking about. So that could mean a couple things on Pascal, whoever this mystery man is, or woman, because we don't want to be sexist, especially on Mother's Day. That could just mean that I haven't heard of him. Or that could mean that because I haven't heard of him, it's insignificant. Or that could mean that it's surprise. Phil doesn't know about him, but here he is. I don't know if that's true, but I don't know. He's nobody that I know that's involved in anything that I'm involved in. I could say that with 100% certainty. And I think if you asked him, he'd probably say that too, because it's a possibility that this person came in and is now relevant in some way, shape, or form, and I don't know about it, but I got my hand on the pulse of this thing. So there's not much that I don't know about right now, especially recently, talking about Nicera and employment changes and the crash of the dollar and everything that I've been talking about in the last week. I've been tuned into my source. I've been dialed right in. So if something happened outside of my knowing, be really shocked about that. So he's Swiss. I don't know. Sounds Swiss, Pascal. Some ex-Illuminati. That's not a thing. Are you saying that Pascal's ex-Illuminati? You don't become ex-Illuminati. You don't leave. They'll kill you before that happens. There's no, like, you're not in, then be like, you know what, guys, I retired. I'm out. No, that's not a thing. So you don't, you die. I can name a lot of people that happened to. So that's not a thing for sure. Whether I know him or don't know him, not a thing. Do you really think the cabal lived for hundreds of years? I don't know that to be true. I don't know. I kind of speculated on that the last couple lives that we've had. And here's the premise of what I did. In my last live, Friday night, I said that I explained what the Mississippi bubble was. And the key person in the Mississippi bubble, which was the financial manipulation of stock and the financial system of the French in the early 1700s, the key individual that was involved in that was a gentleman by the name of John Law. And John Law basically came in and got the banking rights from the French government to create a central bank. And he did that. Then he bought a stock market, which at the time it wasn't called stock market. It was called Mississippi Company. But basically what it was, in the early 1700s, this new continent was available out west, North America. And the Mississippi Company was selling a way to get over to the North American continent. Louisiana Territory, he called it the Mississippi Company. And he sold stock in that. Well, the people, when they tried to redeem their stock, they weren't allowed to. And then the price of the stock plummeted. The paper money that he gave out, instead of taking gold deposits and giving back gold deposits at his bank. He took gold deposits, gave paper deposits. Basically, what he did in the early 1700s is exactly what the Federal Reserve did in the United States in the early 1900s. So what we said was, geez, is it the same person? Is John Law not dead? And then we went back and we looked at the age of the people in the Bible, from Adam to Seth to Noah to Methuselah. And we started realizing that they lived a long time. Unless, of course, in the Bible, the word year was not a year. Come on. It was a year. So these people lived to 800, 900 years old. Methuselah, famously the oldest person in the Bible, 969 years old. Why did they live so long and we no longer do? God came along and sometimes said, well, I don't want them to live any longer. No. So what I think happened was there's a very select, I don't know if I want to say what I think happened. I would like to look into it a little bit more. But I think during the last reset, I think people knew of the secrets to living an extraordinarily long time. And a lot of people have asked, well, is it from adrenochrome? Is that what's keeping them alive longer? Maybe. We know the effects of of the withdrawal of adrenochrome. We've seen that. Look at the people who are on it. Look at Celine Dion, for example. I mean, you could see even the Clintons, how young and like vigorous Hillary looked in the 2016 campaign. Then you look at her 2 years later. Yeesh. Wow. So the thought is, are people like John Law just simply renamed as the centuries pass? So if John Law did this in the early 1700s, is John Law's real name now Jacob the Rothschild? Some 300 years later or 200 years later? It's a pretty compelling argument. I wouldn't say it's compelling, but it's a pretty interesting argument, I would say. Pelosi's pictures on TikTok, somebody just said. Yeah, it's another good example of adrenochrome. How many NDAs have I signed? Well, ever? I'm just going to say ever. Between 5 and 10. All time. For some things, you don't have to have an NDA. Others you do. So, by the way, these are the things that I was raving about. These things are fantastic. And they taste good too. So it's Manuka honey and it has mint in it. But the biggest thing is, see right here, it's made with 60 parts per million of silver salt. It's basically colloidal silver. I can't kick this cough now. Or strep throat is gone. I had earlier in the week, but the cough is debilitating and really pisses me off. So perhaps Dracula is or was real, hence adrenochrome. Got a good point there. Dracula was always rumored and mythicized to be eternal. They lie to us about everything. We know that, right? So, and of course, Dracula drank blood. Well, you ever see what happened in Dracula in the movies anyway? When he didn't get blood, he would like age, you know. But then when he got somebody's neck and he latched onto it, he like became this younger version of himself and he could do all this stuff. Am I under an NDA right now? Yeah, certain topics. Yeah. Well, I shouldn't say topics. Yes. The answer to the question is yes. How were the Native Americans in the Americas if it was newly thought out? How do you know they were? How do you know they just didn't get here first? Even if they were, how do you know they just didn't get here before the rest of the Europe and the other continents across the ocean? Are there any other continents below North America that would have been thawed that maybe they migrated up from? Got to look at the flat Earth map to make that determination and what the lands did back then. But it's possible that number one, they weren't here, and number two, maybe they got here first, and not like way first, but just like kind of first. You were filming in Dallas for the JFK film. Your pic showed you were in a bar called the Mansion Bar. Was this the bar that all the elites gathered at when they placed the bets of JFK's time of death? Yes. It was a disgusting place to be in. Purposely booked my stay there based on that information, my stay in that hotel. I purposely wanted to film in that location because of that as well. It was an eerie, just didn't like it really much. What happened to the gold in the Mississippi bubble? So John Wall, the French at the time were using the currency gold and silver, but gold primarily. Keep in mind, back then, gold was kind of like a 1-to-1 ratio almost with silver, kind of like it should be today. So gold was the primary. So they would use gold as their currency to buy stuff all the time. The French citizens would then go into John Law's bank, Banque Generale, and they would deposit gold. But then when they wanted to withdraw their money, their currency, they would get paper currency. It was called livres from John Law's bank. The gold John Law took and he kept. And no one really knows what happened to it, but I'm pretty sure he took it back with him to London when he got pardoned. John Law was Swiss, by the way. And Cabal always wants that gold, even back in the early 1700s. They don't want you to have it because they know. General Flynn is campaigning. Why? I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't seen that. Are the light shows HARP? I'm going to have to assume that you mean the light shows means the Aurora Borealis and Northern Lights. No. Any light show, whether it's up in the North Pole, Alaska, or like we just saw in the United States, which is super strange. Any light show like that is not lights at all. It's magnetism. So you live on an electromagnetic terrarium, essentially. That's what Earth is. It's a giant electromagnetic terrarium. It's a self-sustaining electromagnetic terrarium. So when there's a shift in the magnetic pole that is on Earth right now, all sorts of magnetic shifts happen. And the magnetic shift that we most recently saw this week was the Northern Lights, which is no longer northern. I said this in my car video that I posted on Telegram the other day. What you have happening right now is y'all know that there's a North Pole and a South Pole and they're both magnetic, right? At least that's what the official story says. That's not true. There's no south magnetic pole. Not a thing. There is just the North Pole, and that's magnetic. Now, for many years of our life, the North Pole, the actual location of the North Pole, like up in Canada, where all the ice is and everything, blah, 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 where Santa lives, that was also the location of our magnetic pole. Magnetic pole is shifting right now, majorly. Fast, very fast. So how the North Pole always represented the top of the Earth, it's where the compass pointed and da-da-da-da-da-da. Not for long. That's on its way to Russia. Right across the Arctic, right over to Russia. And it's going quickly, a lot quicker than we thought it was, we thought it was supposed to. It's going fast. So when you have this magnetic shift, the significance of that pole shifting is that the sun shifts around it. So as that magnetic pole goes around our flat plane, the sun and the moon rotate around it. So they're bound to each other. So when that magnetic pole is shifting away from the North Pole and over into Russia, the sun and the moon are slightly shifting too. More importantly, the sun. Because the sun controls our light, the sun controls our heat. And as it goes, so goes the lands around it. So all these cabal idiots want to say, oh, climate change. Climate is changing. No, it's not. The sun is just shifting. So it's melting things that it's coming closer to, and it's freezing things that it's becoming further away from. Natural, just like night and day. There's nothing we could do about it. We're on these lands. So if our lands freeze, we're frozen. If new lands melt and open up, yep, we could go there. It's happened before. It'll happen again. Last time it happened was around the 1800s, when 17 to 1800s, when this new continent opened up in the Mississippi bubble period. New continent opened up. North America was never there before. And then everybody wanted to go there. Other lands froze that the sun was moving away from. It'll just keep happening over and over and over again because that is how God intended it. Do you know how far it will shift the sun? Yeah, I mean, it's a predictable pattern. Wherever that magnetic pole goes, the sun rotates directly around it in a circle. It's like a clock. It's moving a lot quicker than anybody anticipated, though. That's the problem. You mentioned leprechaun several times last live. Remember your oath. Remember your mission. And the assassination of President Trump were two things in gematria. Can you comment? Nope. Sorry about that one. No, I cannot comment. Why no stars in the sky? The Big Dipper is no longer visible. So the stars in the sky shift. They are in our celestial dome, which we call the firmament. And they shift in a predictable pattern. And there are times that you won't be able to see them because of magnetism and because of the shift that's occurring right now in our magnetic pole. It's happening. How does LifeWave fit considering the med beds are coming? Great question. Med beds, when they are first released, there are very many people that need a med bed right now. Would you agree? How many people do you think you know? Okay. Now multiply that by, I don't know, 10 million, 100 million. That's how many people need one. There's not like an infinite amount of these things. Okay. So you're going to get one, but you're also going to have to wait and be scheduled. And it's probably going to be scheduled probably by the initials of your last name, maybe your social security number. I don't know how they're going to do it. And that's, trust me, it's not a problem that I want to deal with. But I see med beds as a an overall, all-encompassing great thing. But if you get one and it helps you get over whatever debilitating disease or illness or whatever you're dealing with, I see that as a once in a while trip to a med bed. I really don't think you're going to med beds every 30 days, guys. I just don't see how that's possible. Logistically, I think that is impossible, actually. So I think you'll get to one, and I think it's going to help you with a lot of the ailments that you have. But I also think your body's stem cells are the key to keeping you healthy, to maintaining that health, so it doesn't divert back into something bad. Now, the LifeWave patches are activators of your body's own stem cells. There's no stem cells in the patch. That's not how it works. The patch goes on your skin and it activates your stem cells within your own body. So it's not you put a patch on and you're getting stem cells. It's not like stem cell injections that are tens of thousands of dollars and half the time they don't work anyway. These patches activate your body's own stem cells, which are already there. They're just dormant. I think the patches are a great way to maintain your health. Med beds, yeah, great way to fix it all up. Make sure it's great, right? Look at maybe diseases or incoming issues that you may have. Patches, great way to keep you where you're at. Maintain that level of health so that you don't run into a problem in the future. What will happen to schools? Very broad question, but there'll still be schools, but I think there's going to be, after all of this happens that we've been talking about, there's going to be an enormous re-education campaign in many different ways. For example, we talked about the Fibonacci sequence. Not even taught in schools. God in the Bible, not even taught in schools. Mississippi bubble, not even taught in schools. You know, many, many years ago, they taught flat earth in schools, and then they stopped. And now they teach heliocentric earth. Well, that's going to change back to how it used to be, because all they've done is lie. Lisa Fox, hi Phil. Pic of JFK and Jackie in navy blue watching regatta in New Jersey. JFK had a boat in the race called the Leprechaun, which was based in Wildwood. Trump was just in Wildwood. Leprechaun Leprechaun is 103 in gematria. Navy blue is 102. UDT Manila comms. Yeah, of course. What do you think? What do you think? That's all coincidence? Sometimes I just like to give you guys a little bit of a carrot with the stick to show you that I'm not shitting around here and I know what I'm doing. You think I just mentioned leprechaun? You don't think I can calculate leprechaun in my head? You know how easy it is? All those letters are very low in the alphabet. You know how quickly you could add those up in your head? Most of them anyway, with the exception of R and N. Very easy to add up in your head. Wildwood is, because of the way the letters are there, the double O and the double W, also very easy to add up. So yeah, I mean, I could do it in my head quickly, spontaneously like that. Oh, there's a leprechaun running around the room. Like I probably thought of that 60 seconds before I did it. But sometimes I like to just give you guys a little bit of a confirmation that I'm the real deal, I guess. I don't know. I mean, a lot of people say that I'm the real deal. I don't say that, but all these people do. And will the patches get cheaper or part of healthcare? I actually don't know either of those answers. I would imagine they would get cheaper over time, but I don't know that. Part of healthcare, I would say probably almost definitely. Stem cells are going to be a huge... Stem cells, first of all, are a very big part of med beds. But stem cells will be a very big part of healthcare going forward, which is another reason why I'm introducing you to the system now, so that you're way ahead of anybody else. But Got to believe me first, I guess. Oh, Sarah. Sarah Hops, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, Phil. Ruh-oh. Ruh-roh. Is 88 in Gematria, which comes to 10 Days of Darkness. You mentioned the 10th Ruh-roh on April 30th. What should we be looking for next? Well, you know I can't tell you that. Oh, I'm disappointed in that question. You know that's not something I could say. I mean, I could drop these little things here and there for you to figure it out, but I can't come out and give an answer like that. I think you know me better than that. 98C, the Balfour Declaration, Lord Rothschild in 1917. The country of Israel was created in 1948. Their flag changed to the Star of David, aka the pagan god Remphan, in 1948, Nakba. Is it wrong to side with Palestine? That's a hot button issue, and I'm not going to say it's wrong to stand with Palestine, but what I will say is Israel is not what you think. The war that's going on over there is not what they say it is. And I'm not going to go so extreme and say it's wrong to stand with Palestine, but what I am going to say is you're really on to something when you look at the Rothschilds in Israel. And you'd be even smarter to tie in the cabal in the past 20 or 30 years, the relationship between Israel and the United States, because there are so many dots that have not yet been connected to that country. And everybody thinks, oh, Israel ally, bullshit. Israel is the headquarters of the military unit of the cabal. If you could point to one area on earth and say, well, Phil, you say the cabal is in power. Where are they? Point to them. Israel. Israel. And I don't want anybody to say, oh, well, that's, biblical times in Israel and the Israelites. Yeah, then, not now. The cabal has corrupted that area. So I'm not saying what it was back then. I'm not saying it was all bad. But what I am saying now is they hijacked it just like they hijack everything else. Look at what they did to the swastika. The swastika was a religious symbol. And they gave it to the Nazis, and then they said, Nazis bad. So dig a little deeper on that, and you'll see what I mean. Phil and Sarah, what about leases like solar panels? Are they illegal? I'm not going to get into every single thing that could be legal or illegal, but I will say this as an overall statement. If you signed up for something and you agreed to pay it back in dollars and the dollar fails, you no longer have to pay it back because you agreed to pay it back in dollars, unless you sign an agreement that says, well, we're going to change our agreement now. There has to be dual party consent. So your lender and you have to agree to a new payment term. And if you don't do that, there is no more payment. Ouch. Oh, gosh. That one hurt a lot. I hit it on the bottom. Manga. Oh, I'm bleeding. No, I'm not. It's just red. Doesn't make it hurt any less, though. So, for all you trolls out there. Gah. Is JR out? No idea what that means. Not a single clue. Phil, you look younger. Is that due to the X patches? First of all, I totally agree. I do look younger. I'm kind of like Benjamin Button in a good way. No, on a serious note, I have been I have been religiously wearing. Now, keep in mind, I started LifeWave in my X patches thing about 9 months ago, but I didn't wear these religiously, like every single day, till the last 3 or 4 months. I was wearing them, but I was missing days and I was forgetting. And then I say, you know what? Screw this. I'm going to wear them all the time. And I now wear one specifically for your skin. They also came out with 3 different skin creams for your face. One is a nighttime one is a daily one, and one is an under eye thing. And they also came out with a patch for your skin, which works with those 3 creams. So I have seen incredible improvements in my skin. And if you don't believe me, go back and watch my videos from late last year. Look at me then, look at me now, and tell me you don't see a difference in my skin. Someone obviously just did. The fine lines and wrinkles are gone. My under eyes have completely changed. I don't really see too many lines on my skin either. I'm 40 years old. I'm going to be 41 next month. And I didn't look great for a little while there. And now, obviously, I look great. That's what I meant by that. Just kidding. But what I'm saying is you could see the differences in appearance in my skin. And now that I've religiously been on these patches, I think there's an enormous difference. Not only in the way that I feel in my muscles don't get sore anymore. Like, I used to have to go for weekly therapeutic massages on my lower back and my middle back. And I don't have to do that anymore. I mean, I still enjoy a massage, don't get me wrong, but it's not necessary. They've completely changed how my body feels. It's fantastic. And I think a lot of you, are going to feel the same way. Do you sell to Trump because he's looking quite young also? Trump knows about stem cells. That's all I'm going to say. Bro's got nicer skin. I just watched some of the older lives. Thanks. Thank you. Is your intel still that DeSantis will be VP? Yes. Now, an enormous change happened not too long ago in the live that I reported that Flynn is not and DeSantis is. Would I be surprised if something changes again? No, because that shocked the shit out of me. For 4 years, I was saying Flynn. And then I was told, not Flynn. I was like, what? Why? Why now? Something happened. Can't talk about it. But I wouldn't be surprised if something happens again. I'm not saying that it will, and I don't know that it will. But I am saying that it's possible, of course. Will life insurance policies be a thing in the past in this era? No. No, not that I know of. I see no reason why someone still can't have a life insurance policy. Health insurance, different thing altogether. Life insurance, to leave something to your family if you pass away, you're still going to die. I mean, people are still going to die. You know that, right? So let's not be naive to the fact that people still will die. So I can't see how life insurance would go away. I'm sure the entire insurance industry is going to change in terms of like the prices and how the payouts work and all that stuff. I don't know that. I don't know the details of that. I'm not tied into that at all. But I still think it'll exist. And that's what your question was. So yeah. Phil, your intel is 95% based on US and 5% for the rest of the world. But can you shed some light about Canada? The clown Trudeau, the new bills passed, the economy, it's crazy and scary right now. First of all, I think I totally disagree with your numbers. I don't think 95% of my intel is based on the US. I would say that maybe 60 to 70% of things that I reference are US. For example, I was just talking about Israel. So just on that alone, the 95.5 doesn't work out, right? Because it's just not. I just talked about Israel. So now I have to talk about another 20 things before I can talk about anything else, any other country. So it's just not true. But the things that I do reference United States wise, your country, how do I say this? There's a world alliance right now. the world is split into three sections. It's trifurcated into three areas. Trump is involved and in control of one of them. Putin is in control of another. President Xi is in control of another from China. Now, right now, there are multiple countries in each of these sections. Okay? How I see this working in the short term is one rule of law and one set of instructions for each of those three sections based on location and based on a few different factors. I'm not saying it's going to be a world government because it's not, but in the short term, the things that the United States goes through are also going to be the same things that Canada goes through and South America and all the countries down there. And, a lot of the islands that are out in the Bermuda, Bahamas area, as well as out in the West, Hawaii, and those. It's all Trump's area right there. We got Putin, and Trump even has some of Europe too. We got Putin out in one side, Xi out in the other side. So when I reference the United States and things that are ongoing in the United States, and when I say, well, this is about to happen, or this is what we expect to happen, or this is the way that this is gravitating towards, it's not just for the United States. It's for that entire section. And honestly, I think all three of those sections are going to be similarly governed. I don't think Putin's going to be doing a completely different thing than Trump. I think they're going to be very similar for a very long time. It's going to be good. They know what they're doing. I know what they're doing. X patches, what happens when the banks go down? Like, how do you pay for them, you mean? We're working on that. There's going to be things that are deemed essential, and your health is going to be one of them. And stem cells are tied to your health, especially your future health. So we're working on that. We got a little bit of time left. We'll get there. Who will be flipping the switch? Which switch? To what? Are you asking me who's going to decide, let's get this party started or finished, for that matter? Is that what you're asking? There's not a one person that you could put in that answer and be accurate. It's kind of a group decision. And depending on exactly what you're talking about, I'd have to answer that closer based on what you meant by that. What will happen to Fortune 500 companies like General Electric, Aerospace? If it's a cabal-owned company, it's going to be completely wiped out and built from the ground up. So I don't think the infrastructure of the company will change, such as like the products and if we still need those products, which for majority of companies we will, if we still need them, will we be able to have access to them? And the answer is yes. It's just going to be a completely different ownership structure from the top down. And a lot of the bullshit that was included in companies such as that and many other thousands will be removed. And by the bullshit, I mean the the cabal's reach to stick their hand in there and extract money to use against us and use against humanity. Good evening, Phil. I heard Bank of America is now buying up lots of gold. If they're going under, why would they do this now? Think of it a different way. if they're buying up gold now and they're about to go under, who's buying up the gold? Is it really them? Or do we just have control of the bank and we're buying it up with their money? See how you got to think of things a different way? If you just look on the surface and you look at Bank of America buying gold, Phil said they were going under. What the hell? Phil must be wrong. Or there's an alternate explanation. The illicit gains that Bank of America has had for however many decades, we have control of them now. We have control of those gains, and we're buying up the gold. That's kind of a better explanation, isn't it? Than the alternate one that you were thinking of? I think so. Hi, Phil. The podium sign at President Trump's rally in Wildwood was purple. I noticed that, actually. Hold on. This thing's driving me nuts. There we go. Much better. We stopped purple skies recently. Purple and GM is 88. Oh, there's 88 again. Yeah. Geometric words here are Trump or purple suits. Scotland. Drop 88. 10 days of darkness. Alisa, you and your rigging. So little stuff like that, like a purple podium, which is completely out of place because the podium is never purple. Little stuff like that is an obvious obvious. How many times have you ever seen a purple podium before? Echo? Okay, great. Hold on one second. Echo should be gone now, hopefully. Again, not on my end, but I'd be happy to correct it if I could. We all go with the echo now? Gone. Okay, good. So when you see things like that, like a purple podium that kind of just sticks out like a sore thumb, you should be figuring out, why the hell is there a purple podium tonight? You know? And I think Lisa did some good work there in trying to come up with some reasons. Go straight to gematria. I think Lisa only did the word purple. Try adding in another word, and then you might actually get purple. Keep using purple, but purple something. I'm not going to tell you what to do, because what good would I be then? But if you add in another word, I think it'll open your eyes a little bit even more. Phil, can you give some indication about the cost of the initial sign-up fee for life patches? First of all, there's no sign-up fee. That's a misnomer. The money you're paying when you sign up are for patches. You're getting patches. So you're paying for a product. Okay, you're not paying for a membership fee, and then after that, you also have to buy the patches. The only thing you're paying for on sign-up is for patches. The more you pay on sign-up, the more patches you get. So in order to be eligible for commission, that's the thing. You know, if you're getting into this and you only want the patches, fine. But I want you into this because I want you to earn commission. And my plan of building this system is going to help you at least half of your downline get completely built out for you. So you only have to worry about the other half. And we're going to teach you how to do that other half. But the whole point of this is getting in to earn commission. You could get patches for a little bit cheaper. But if you want commission, it's $124.99. That will get you your first 30-day supply of patches. And there's a whole bunch of different kind of patches. X39, X49, SP6, the skin one, Alavita, that I told you guys about. There's an antiviral. There's an ice wave one, which helps for immediate. There's 2 patches that you put on an area that's hurting you. Takes the pain right away. It's incredible. I don't know how it does it. It's incredible. So many different types of patches, and you could customize your order. The 125 package, though, or up, go 125, 199, 250, 599, 1599, gets crazy. But you get all these patches for these things. The 125 level gets you eligible to make commission right away. Now, as your downline gets built, You may not want to be capped at $1,500 a week in commission. You may want to go to $2,500 a week. Well, then you have to go up a package. Instead of the 125 pack, you have to go to the 199 pack. So instead of 125, you got to pay an extra $75. Now you're up to 200, but now you get to make an extra $1,000 a week. When you're making $1,500 a week, are you not going to pay an extra $75 a month to get the bigger package? Yeah, you are. Of course you are. Especially if it means that your commission level goes up because you've already been built to there. So yeah, you're going to do it. So that's what it is. That's how it works. 125. 125 gets you 30 days of package, 30 days of patches, plus immediately makes you eligible for commission. The best package that's out there is the 250 package, but you do not have to do it if you can't afford it. But it is the best package out there. You get that one and you get all sorts of patches, you get bonus points, you get a whole bunch of shit. My team will explain that to you on your call. Where'd that one go? There it is. Why isn't that showing up over here, though? That's really weird. Is this it? Oh, your fall of the Roman Empire and the date it fell has good numbers in gematria. You posted Codex. Ooh, someone's looking. MM Fonseca. You posted Codex on Truth Social. I could speak. I do this all the time, believe it or not. I have a show and everything. You posted Codex on Truth Social a week or so ago. There is a Codex Silver Bible. Another Mississippi bubble or nod to the Vatican? It was a reference to the Vatican. And I can't say any more than that at this time. But it's some pretty good digging there by you. I'm a little impressed by that. Great job. Where does Barron Trump fit into this whole thing? Unfortunately, I can't talk about Barron at this time. I would say keep your eyes there, though. Let's watch what develops. Phil, why is the sun brighter, whiter, and larger than the smaller yellow sun? Does this have anything to do with the magnetic pole shift that you were talking about earlier? Yes. Yes, it does. Oh, you guys, what's up, guys? Now you're starting to realize that my flat earth stuff isn't bullshit. You're actually starting to see things with your own eyes, and they're starting to tie into the things that I've been talking about with flat earth for 4 years. Interesting. Isn't that interesting? How it all just comes full circle like that? Flat earth, what a bunch of shit. This guy's an idiot. Can't believe he listens to anything he says. You know, I love his intel, but he talks about that flat earth stuff, and it really makes me question him. Now suddenly what? We have northern lights in southern part of the United States? And everyone's like, well, why? Why? Oh, it must be a solar flare. Okay. Yeah. It's a solar flare. What? I've been talking about this for 4 years. I pay $199 a month for a pack of X39 patches. I could get them on my own for $59. It's a ripoff going through you for me. I buy the package, 5 packs of X39. Hey, go right ahead. Good luck earning commission. You don't need me? I don't need you either. Go save some money on the patches and earn 0. Take care. You know what? I'll sign somebody else up in your spot and they'll make tens of thousands of dollars next year or this year. But hey, you saved hundreds. So great. Idiot. It's just a classic example of cutting off your nose to spite your face. You know, hey, I'm going to save hundreds, but I'm going to lose thousands. I don't care. Go ahead. And then you come here and you say that like you're bragging about it. Stupidity never, ever, it would never surprise me. John Law looks a lot like a Rothschild whose death was recently reported. Interesting, huh? Sure does. Help, what if you joined under someone else because you were in 7K and couldn't join under you? Can you switch? Not if you became a brand partner. If you became a brand partner under someone else, if you were just a preferred customer and you were only buying patches and you joined under someone else, you could switch back to my downline as a brand partner. But if you enrolled under somebody else and you earned commission and all that, we could ask LifeWave to switch you, but I don't think it's going to happen. I'll try, but I doubt it. Phil, what percentage of the population is now awake? In my opinion, well, it's not really my opinion. I kind of know. I'm not going to answer this like I'm answering it as awake to everything, like flat Earth and all that stuff. I'm going to answer it as awake to election fraud and, you know, cabal and that kind of stuff. Say about 85, 90%, roughly. I think you're seeing that now too. I think you can honestly say that about 85, 90% of the people you know are awake. Think about every 10 people that you know. And don't count clusters. Don't count like a family of 4 who live all under the same roof and like go by what the dad says. You know what I mean? Don't do that. That I consider that 1. I think we should say like households. 80 to 90% of households, I think, are awake, depending on the area you live to. Some areas are very, very heavily crushed with like far left advertising. So those areas, probably more like 65%, 60 maybe. But we don't need 100. We don't even need 90. We're good where we are to implement everything that we need to implement. So are you telling us that the white hats have control over the banks? Did not say that. What I said was, if you're seeing Bank of America buy up metal, that is a good indication that Bank of America is doing that for a purpose that is in our best interest, the white hat's best interest. So it could be a key indicator that that particular organization and entity, Bank of America, is doing it for good and not doing it because of anything else that was referenced earlier. Do the Dems still have the ability to cheat? No. I mean, small scale, yeah, but not like 2020. That was corrected a while ago. That is actually the reason why I get so pissed off that none of this has rolled out yet. Because if you've taken away the ability for them to cheat, that means you could prove that they cheated. And that means, in my opinion, that means that this should have been announced and 2020 should have been corrected. And President Trump should have been awarded the office. And furthermore, if you have the ability to stop the cheating in the future elections, and I'm not just talking about the United States, I'm talking about worldwide. This cheating happens everywhere. You know that, right? How do you think Trudeau gets in office? I think he's just elected? No. So if we have the ability to stop it, then what the hell are we waiting for? I get it. I get their explanation, but I don't like it and I don't accept it either. So the Baron Trump Chronicles were written by Ingersoll Lockwood in the 1800s. And the Baron Trump keeps moving. Are the Baron Trump Chronicles and Ingersoll Lockwood website something we should look at? Who was Ingersoll Lockwood? Don't tell me he was an author of the... I know that. Who do you think he really was? You think his name was Ingersoll Lockwood? Expand your mind on that a little bit. You know, I read that book in jail. The Barron Trump thing. True story. Is 2020 still going to be overturned? Even better than that, bro. Weight loss patches are called SP6. Yeah, it's true. So SP6, there's a patch through my patches system. It's called SP6. It controls your cravings for carbohydrates. Sugar specifically, but other refined carbs as well. So if you're looking to lose weight, it's not just about stem cells and health. These things help you in a broad range. Links down below to sign up. What happened to Rudy G? Rudy G turned on Trump. Hard to believe, right? It happened. Is Juan 07 part of the plan? No. Juan had some intel. He had a good source a while back, which he no longer has. So part of the plan? No. Terrible way to characterize that. He's not part of the plan at all. Can we set up X Patches, 7K Metals, Wellness Company, Field of Greens in Canada, or find similar Canadian companies so that we don't get dinged with the exchange rates and shipping charges? I have no ability to do that. No, I don't own any of those companies. I'm an affiliate for those companies, just like you would be if you signed up. So there's nothing I could do there. Why did Rudy turn? I don't know. Ask Rudy, but probably had to do with immense pressure being put on him by the cabal. So, Phil, has Justice John Roberts visited the evil island? Yes. I mean, you saw his name and his photo. You saw his name in the books, and you saw him, I think, was next to Bill Clinton in a pool. Phil, is there a link for joining LifeWave Australia? Same link. LifeWave distributes to Australia. In fact, before you schedule your appointment, on that link, there's a drag down menu for your country. Just select it. Is Starbucks a cabal-owned company? Yes. Biden and Congress aren't real. It's a movie. That wasn't a question, but yes, that's true. Ow, my back is itchy. Am I related to Lee Harvey Oswald? No. Has Charlie Ward turned? I'm not aware of that. No. It's funny. Ingersoll Lockwood in Gematria comes out to the real commander-in-chief. Interesting. Funny how that Gematria could get you like so many different answers on so many different topics, isn't it? Great tool. Did JFK know that NASA was fake? Yes. Towards the end of the 1960s. Well, I should say towards the end of his presidency. Okay, a couple more. What does GOAT mean? Greatest of all time? Can't answer some of those. Sorry. Do you still believe the EBS will be happening? Yes. Harp still active? Yes. Not in the way that you think, though. Harpoon? That was the thing. Harpoon question mark. What? What about a harpoon? What will be the retirement age for Nacera? 55, I believe. But at least that's what it was the last time I saw. Anything could change, obviously. I don't write these laws. I know it's on my shirt. I know that. But I don't know what you're talking about when you say harpoon question mark. What? What's the question? Could we use like phrases when we ask questions? Single word question mark. I don't understand. On your Telegram page, it says fake scam, gematria. No, it's not a com. It was never a com the whole time. Anybody could report any channel, and if they get hundreds of complaints, they're going to mark it as fake scam. And just so you guys know, Telegram doesn't have any sort of customer service that you could talk to. So you can't get it fixed. But it doesn't affect the channel in any way, so it doesn't matter. But those are my channels. Trying to get a good one. We could end the night on a good one. There's a good one. How much of our history is unrecoverable? None of it. None of it at all. There's nothing that we haven't learned yet that we can't go ahead and educate ourselves and our children and our future, generations. We could educate everyone on all of that, and it wouldn't harm anybody. It would be shocking. Many things would be shocking to a lot of people, but it's not lost, and it's not forever gone, and it's not even to the point where you say, well, we didn't learn it, so now it's too late to learn it. No. In fact, I think all of it could be relearned and reintroduced into our education system. Keep in mind, this was already done once before. Our education system used to be completely different than what it was. They pulled things out of the schools. They added new bullshit to the schools. Now our kids are growing up to be liberals. So what was extracted before could be re-added, and what was added could be extracted. And I think that's pretty much how it's going to go. I think that people like me are going to have a huge role in that. And I'm not just talking about like schools. I'm talking about like this type of platform that you're on now. I mean, it's cool that I get 30, 40 million views, whatever. That's awesome. I remember I hit 1 million for the first time. I thought that was awesome. And I remember I had 100, honestly, on Facebook. And I thought that was crazy. But I think this type of platform that I have is the future of education. The education system, the actual schools, yeah. Go learn your math. But for history and for, geopolitics, you don't need school for that. You need people that know it already, that have a very good ability to articulate it and to hold an audience's attention for hours at a time. How many lives do you see of mine where, even if it's the numbers that are, what's the number on Rumble right now? 44,000. You will see that 44,000 for 2 hours straight. There's no big drop-offs. It's not like people tune into me and they're like, oh, that's bullshit, we're out of here. The number just stays the same. Once I have you here, you're here. You know how hard that is for most people? So I think this type of platform, it's not just me. Of course, I'm talking about me because I'm the GOAT, but it's so stupid. it's not just me. There'll be others too that are able to take and disseminate this information to millions and millions of people. So that'll be it for tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Love you guys. Don't know when my next live is going to be yet, but I'll announce it as soon as I could. One more opportunity to join that X Patches system down below. That is the enrollment into LifeWave.